Good morning, church. I'm Sarah Grant, and I work with worship and young adults. And today's Daily Hope is from John 18:37. It says, "You are a king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You are right in saying I am a king. In fact, for this reason I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." And Pilate was a governor, and he was put in place to keep the peace on behalf of Rome, and he would keep the peace at any cost, as we see later in John. But he's asking Jesus these questions, and it almost seems like he knows that Jesus is different, that there's something about this man that is life-changing. And I think he came face to face. He met his maker, came face to face, flesh and blood with his creator, and he knew he had to make a decision. And he tries to find a loophole, but I think he knew that if he didn't choose Jesus, there was repercussions for that. But he also knew that if he did, and he set Jesus free, that the people would probably start a riot, and he would be removed from his position. He would maybe face death. But the people would hate him, like reputation down the drain. He was not willing to risk that. That was his choice. He said, nope, I am going to stuff any and all curiosity down, and I am going to do what I know will be safe for me, and I'm not going to risk it. And, when Jesus is saying, he basically answers him and says, I testify to the truth, and anyone who is on the side of truth listens to me. And Pilate's response in the next verse is, what is truth? And it's just this like cynical, fear-based, rhetorical question that he's like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, I'm not even going to deal with this. And we see later that he basically, he doesn't even make the decision really in his own mind. He's thinking it's a loophole, like the people can make the decision and decide his fate, but I'm not going to do it. He knew there was something different about Jesus, but he also he was not willing to step into the gap for him. And my call for us today is that we would be people of courage and bravery and curiosity, so that when we are face to face with Jesus, we are willing to step in and do the brave thing, and no matter the risk, right? The things that we are face to face with, like justice issues, but also when Jesus asks us to do something that feels like scary or messy or whatever, that we would be people who stand in that gap and we say like, yeah, I actually will say yes to that, and I actually will listen to the truth and listen to Jesus and walk in that. So that's my prayer for us today, that we would be people who are moving toward bravery and courage and curiosity with Jesus. So be blessed today, church, and we'll see you tomorrow for another Daily Hope.